Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's Critical Misses. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpear.
Howdy.
We're at our, sort of unfortunately, our last Mission Impossible movie of this season.
Yep, because we started recording this season before the final two movies got announced.
Yeah, which was kind of kind of surprising, but I guess that's probably just how the show's gonna go. I'm assuming.
It happens all of the time. Like every
Yeah,
single time, I'm just like, oh, great, come on.
yeah. So we won't be finishing up with the two-parter because that comes out sometime in 2023, and we're not there right now. Um,
Uh-huh.
but we will be watching Fallout, Mission Impossible Fallout from 2018. Um, this is this is gonna be an interesting one because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we hope will carry over from the last movie, namely
Uh-huh.
Rebecca Ferguson, and there's a lot of question marks here, especially because none of the
Yep.
women have shown up in more than one movie, which is a terrible, horrible thing. Um,
I hope she does.
she was great.
I genuinely hope she does, because she was fantastic in that movie. Arguably better than Ethan Hunt, to be completely honest.
I mean, I will take any of the women that have shown up in any of these movies. Number one, for the movies to stop hating them for being women, and then number two, for them to show up in more than one film, which I feel like is not too much to ask, really.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, even when the one woman in the Fast Crew got written off the movies, she still came back in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, who else? Who else do we think we're gonna see? I feel like Tom Cruise is probably a safe bet yet again. Um,
Yeah,
I have
probably.
I have not watched the trailers for Dead Reckoning Part One, so I don't know. But I'm assuming if there was a twist like, hey, Tom Cruise isn't in these movies anymore, probably would have been a larger news story.
So I did watch the trailer for Dead Reckoning. I
Okay.
mostly so I could literally. I think I messaged you. I don't think we recorded it, but I was like, "Hey, guess what? The guy from the very first one is back for Dead Reckoning."
What was it? Kittredge is his name?
Yes, Kit
Yeah,
Ridge.
yeah. Kittredge is back. Why not? Um,
Why not?
that's very
Exactly.
exciting. I like Kittredge a lot. Um,
It's
so I've
okay. Let's
oh,
get
go
let's
ahead.
get the hackers out the way.
Yeah, that was my next point. I feel like Simon Pegg is probably back. He seems to be part of the
Uh-huh.
core crew here, the IMF crew.
True. Also, it's I think this might be a JJ joint again, like
Okay.
production wise.
Okay.
And we know that Simon Pegg is essentially part of JJ's team now as well.
Right. Right. Um, I really hope that we see more Ving Rhames in this, not, like a little bit more, because I feel like him and Simon Pegg are a pretty good duo in these films. They tackle the problem in different ways, and I really like uh, Luther not liking any of the new IMF crew. It's just being like, ah, look at these kids. Whatever, man.
Yeah. Oh, do we see the IMF? That's the question. Is
Right.
the IMF just them now? Is the question that I've got after the end of last movie, where it's like you went from this huge organization to what, like four dudes in a truck, essentially?
Right. Right. Four dudes in a truck and Alec Baldwin somewhere
Is
else.
it the IMF or the A team? Like, who are we talking about here?
Right. Um, yeah, that's a good point. I'm curious to see. I think we saw from two movies ago bleeding into the last movie was sort of like, all right, here's the syndicate. Like that's we sort of had this wink and nod of like, here's your next assignment. Um, but we didn't really get that last time. We just really got the like Metal Gear Solid 1 ending Mr. President sort of thing and just kind of moved on.
You mean Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 ending is
That's
what you're
true.
talking about?
I'm a triple agent. Um, so I think that's a really good question of like how are you I feel like the for the majority of the last couple of movies they're opening when they're in the middle of a mission. So it's probably safe to assume that this continues that trend of here's a mission, it's going poorly, let's try and save it. Um,
Okay.
and then credits, dun dun
Okay.
dun.
Do we see the Syndicate again?
Oh man, I don't know. I wonder if they're gonna bring him back. I wonder if they're gonna bring that dude back, the lead bad guy,
The
Solomon.
red hair guy who's not a red hair guy?
Right,
Yes, Solomon Lane, I believe.
I think that's right. I feel like they might maybe don't bring him back in this one because having like a back to back like the being the villain in two movies back to back is maybe not what I would expect.
It's not a
One,
Mission Impossible thing either. That's a classic Bond movie, is what that is.
yeah, that's a good point. Um, I don't know. I feel like they spent so much work setting up and explaining the syndicate in the last one that I feel like if they don't, if the syndicate in some form or fashion isn't the bad guy in this one, I feel like it might be a B plot of
Hmm.
like continuing to hunt down the syndicate that's still operating. Because they if they didn't have that scene at the end where the prime minister was like, I didn't agree to that. Like I didn't set that up. You guys are running that thing. Like that's not okay. Then if they didn't set that up, I feel like I would feel pretty differently.
Yeah. Two elephants on the table here that we need to talk about, which we kind of jumped over who we're going to see in the movie.
Sure.
Um, Jeremy Renner.
Boy.
Now,
Um
let me just get this off the table right now. I know he's not in this, I think. Um,
Surprisingly, I'm kind of bummed about that. I kind
yeah,
of like him in these.
he did okay. I will give him credit where it's due because I think he had a 2 or 3 movie deal, and the whole point of his deal was he was supposed to be the guy who took over from Tom Cruise when he was done with Mission Impossible because the guy's hitting 45. He's not going to want to do Mission Impossible movies forever.
Tom Cruise in 2023 is like, I'm not stopping. I can run forever. You've seen these
Uh-huh.
movies.
He
Okay.
like the producers is that anime girl hiding underneath the kitchen counter, and Tom
That's,
Cruise is doing
that's right.
stunts as that Terminator.
That's right. Tom Cruise starring in yet another movie. Yeah. That's interesting because I'm not. I like Jeremy Renner in these movies. I'm. I
Considering
think
you hate him, and I'm with you, I pretty much don't like him in anything he's done, really.
he's just like
Um,
he's really whatever in pretty much everything else I've seen him in. Is just like, yeah, you need like a white dude in your movie. You got Jeremy Renner. He's fine. Um, I think he was good, and I liked him in the previous movies. The idea of him taking over for like the starring role from Tom Cruise is sort of like, well, maybe I don't see it going that far, but
Maybe we
it's an interesting
don't get
idea.
Jeremy Renner to do that. Maybe we get a hunky Englishman to do that instead.
With a does he have a mustache?
He does have a mustache,
Well,
indeed.
you've sold me.
Shall we talk about the elephant? And by elephant, I mean my desire, the size of my desires for this man in the
Yes,
room.
the Henry Cavill elephant in the room of. Thankfully, he's back in another movie we get to watch.
Uh-huh.
It's so hot. Oh God.
And this is the GIF movie. That much I
Yep.
know because it's a Mission Impossible movie with Henry Cavill in, and we have hit the end of the line at the moment.
Yep.
So we know it's this movie.
Yep.
We
It's the one
know,
with the gif of him punching, reloading his punching
yes,
fists.
which is hilarious to me.
Yep.
Um, I Because the funny thing is that I'm pretty sure that was a meme around about the same time Roman Reigns doing it was a meme. So I just got the
Mm,
wrestling side of that meme, not the
right.
Henry Cavill side of that
Not the
meme.
origin. Yeah. Well, I guess here's the big question about Henry Cavill. Does he have the accent? Or is he does he have his American accent?
Oh, that's a good, even better question than that, or maybe not better. A different question to that is Henry Cavill good or bad?
I feel like he's bad. I feel like you put the mustache on Henry Cavill and you have him like look a little bit squinty. He's a good bad guy.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, accent wise, is he going to be some middle European accent? Is it going to be an American accent? Or is he going to be British intelligence now that they've been looped into this as well?
Oh man, that's a good pull. I mean, if he's not British intelligence, like, what do
Because
you do?
Ilsa
What are
was
you
British
doing?
intelligence, you know?
Right. I mean, if you're gonna put Henry Cavill in your movie and you're not gonna use the accent and have him like be a British intelligence agent, like, what are you doing, man?
Uh-huh.
Man.
Because
Yeah.
the best thing about British intelligence is he could be both good and bad.
Oh.
He could be doing the bad things for the right reasons and then come
Right.
over to the good side and do the wrong things for the right reasons.
Questioning his loyalty.
Uh-huh.
Who's he working for? Tell me. Who's your boss? Um. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see him in
Because
this movie.
the bathroom fight has got to be him and Tom Cruise, right? I mean, it has to be.
Probably. The funny part is like all I know about this movie is just that gif.
It's
Like,
literally the shotgun arms.
I don't even know anything about this movie, which like is part of the reason why we picked this series for this season. Is just like, well, we've seen like 3 or 4 of these, and there's how many? Um,
Soon
which
to be 9 or something.
God, yeah, so many. Um, but yeah, I it's interesting because I feel like losing Jeremy Renner, assumingly to the MCU at this point, because why would you say
What
yes
year
to
is
Mission
this?
Impossible? Nah, 2018. So like Renner is deep
Oh,
in
this is
MCU
Endgame.
stuff.
That's
Okay, so
Endgame times.
yeah, he's deep. Like you, if Marvel comes saying like, "Hey, do you want to be in another MCU?" It's like, yeah, there's like he's sprinting out the door. There's like a dust trail behind him. Like, see you, babe. Bye. Pew.
Dude,
Um,
it's not dust, it's money. Come on.
he's just running. There's money pouring out of his pockets. um, so yeah, I think, but I think you trade him and you put Henry Cavill in your movie, we all win.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go
That
wrong.
is true.
Um,
Okay. What is the MacGuffin? We need a MacGuffin. Is it
so
going
it's
to be a
it's
thing or is?
2018. So
Uh-huh. Well, this is ahead of time now, unfortunately, because now it's predicting things that are going to happen in about 5 or 6 years.
yeah, we gotta think in 2028 terms of what what is Tom Cruise Productions predicting will happen in our nightmare future. Um,
Climate disaster?
yeah, maybe the Syndicate has invented
Somewhat.
NFTs.
No, because that would involve them being successful.
I made your tokens fungible.
I hate you so much right
I know.
now.
I'm sorry.
I mean, a weather weapon of some kind. If I'm gonna stick on my climate disaster thing,
Oh yeah, you could go like that. That could be like a. I feel like that's like a Bond thing of like
oh,
I've
100%.
made a satellite that creates a typhoon wherever I point it. And it's like, could you?
I know you will forget about this by the time it comes up. So one of the Bond films, I'm not going to tell you which one,
Hmm.
is about someone stealing all of the water.
Okay, an inverse water world. Got it.
Uh-huh. No,
Yeah,
he steals all of the water. And
great.
for those of you who doubt the plausibility of that movie, by the way, go look up Water Futures and enjoy the panic attack that follows.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like because we're in 2018, I feel like it has to be another like some sort of. I don't think we've had like a purely like I have a computer virus sort of thing,
Yeah,
right?
a tech problem.
Yeah, like a tech Bellerophon. Like that's what I
I
want.
can't believe you just referenced Mission Impossible 2. And you used the wrong side. It's a
I
tech
do it every
chimera,
time.
dude.
Oh my god.
Bellerophon is the cure.
Well, we need both. I ate this USB drive and I have tech Bellerophon. Um,
Oh, jeez.
sorry, I have had no sleep today. Um,
Uh-huh,
y-
right there with you.
yeah, I feel like the MacGuffin for me. I just want it one time to be the like fast saga. Like I don't know, man. It's a virus for the computers in the world, dark web, hacknet things. Um,
I mean, we can all appreciate that while not explaining what the rabbit's foot was great. That was very clearly a weapon of some kind, a
yeah,
biological agent maybe, but it had a
sure,
radioactive logo on it, so whatever.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, yeah, we don't really have a God's Eye equivalent in this, do we? Also, that is
right.
still a great name,
It
by the way.
it really is. Um, yeah, because I feel like the chances might go up if you have both Luther and Benji kind of being key players in the same movie. Maybe it's like, all right, these two hackers need to sort out their differences and come together for this tech nightmare, Silicon Valley.
True. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
So, do we
Yeah,
get the? I don't know. I think we get some remnants of the Syndicate, maybe like
probably
splinter factions or something.
right, or like they've split off after the Solomon got captured. It's years later, and they've split off into this other terrorist organization that has its origins in the Syndicate.
Yeah, and
Something
they
like
say,
that.
you cut off one head, two more shall take its place.
Yeah, something like
Failed
that.
Syndicate or something
That's
like that.
that's right. That's right. Um, big question though: how many mask grips? We got
Oh,
two last movie.
I won the movie before.
Right. So we're definitely we of course can't hit the storied heights of Mission Impossible 2. That's an impossible bar to match.
What number is this? This is number 6, right?
6. Yeah.
The last one was 2. The one before that, I was hoping we'd get a palindrome or something. We get like 6 in this one.
That's right.
Mm,
I'm going to throw out a prediction and say 2. I'd like there
you
to be
think 2?
more, but I feel like 2 is the high number. I feel like you're almost guaranteed to get one, even if it's just Benji messing around, be like, I got to wear one, rip. Um,
I think 3.
okay.
If we're playing by whatever it is Jeopardy rules, where it's closest without going over, I'm going to go with 3.
Yeah, the Price is Right rules.
Whatever. I
ten
don't know. I
thousand
didn't watch
dollars
American TV
and
shows
1 cent.
once.
That's right. Um, gosh, what else do we have here for questions? I'm not too sure. I am genuinely, maybe against all odds, very excited to watch this one. I think I'm so excited that I thought this past week was the week we were going to watch this movie, and was a little bit
Mhm.
bummed when I thought, oh yeah, we haven't recorded the first part of this episode yet. Um, so I was not expecting to be in this position of being pumped to watch a Mission Impossible movie, but super excited, especially just Henry Cavill. You know,
Yeah.
can't go wrong.
Henry Cavill and a 50-year-old or whatever Tom Cruise jumping off planes and crap like that.
Yeah.
So why the hell not, kind of
Well,
thing.
I mean, of course,
Uh,
he's got to do some death-defying stunt that he's done practically without wires in this one.
mhm. Do. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
Hmm.
I remember hearing the scuttlebutt about this movie when it came out. I'm not going to tell you whether it was good or bad.
Sure. I feel like I didn't even really hear about it because I feel like we've made some fairly direct comparisons to the Fast Saga on these movies. Whether they're earned or not is to be seen from this one. But I feel like when a new Fast Saga movie comes out, you hear either two types of reactions to it. One is, LOL, they're still making this crap, and then the other two is family, 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 family.
Yeah,
Like
hashtag family.
that's right. There's no real middle ground of like, yeah, whatever. I feel like the Mission Impossible movies, my how I remember the reception has sort of been like, oh, cool, they're making those. They're good. It's not it's not anyone's favorite movie of the year, but it's like, yeah, that was a hell of a watch. Largely, what I think you and I have said for the last couple of movies is like, this isn't the best movie I've ever seen, but I had a really good time. It was a really well done thing.
Yeah. Um, hmm. I I don't know. I think that might just be the circles we're in, to be honest, because I had some people talk a lot about this movie.
Okay.
Again, not saying anything.
A lot
Um,
of quickly filed letterbox reviews.
yes,
Right.
essentially.
Right.
So I'm very curious about this one because this is one of those movies, and you know I have a sick fascination with good and bad movies.
Yes.
So this is one of those movies where as soon as people started talking about it, I was like, I should go see that. Like
Yeah.
the desire to see Morbius is so strong in me, like you would not believe. I still
we,
haven't,
yeah.
but the desire is there.
We maybe have our end of the year shows to do for Morbius. Maybe. Uh,
Mhm.
who knows? All right. On that note, let's go watch the film. Welcome back. We're back for turned out to be a much longer movie than I thought it was going to be, which is fine. But that means we can't talk about my 4 favorite words in the English language quite yet. We will get there fairly soon. But let's
Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
you're gonna love this one. Um, Also, this movie's 2.5 hours long, and it squeezed probably about 3.5 hours worth of movie in there. So Moon and I were gonna have to put our brains together to figure out exactly everything that happened in this one. So,
That's an understatement. Like I stopped taking notes after the second heist slash
uh
mission
huh.
slash thing, and there was 4 to go. So sure.
Yeah. So if we missed your favorite scene, apologies. That's gonna happen. Um,
Yeah, it kind of has to at this point. I mean, we can't do a 7-hour podcast.
no, sadly, it's not good for our health. Um, but we start with
Do we want to talk about the Terminator intro first?
yeah. Um, God, this movie has a lot. Yeah, one
Wait, hold on a minute. Let's just clarify things. You have seen Terminator, right?
I have seen most of the first 3 Terminator movies. I cannot confidently
Okay,
say I have seen all of them, but
you
I've seen
haven't. I
most of them.
guarantee you haven't.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Khaleesi as Sarah Connor, then you definitely haven't seen them
Okay.
all.
Okay. That's fair. Um, so so which particular part of this intro are we talking about? Because there's a lot that happens very quickly in this movie.
The cold open, where it's him and Julia getting married on a beach, and a nuke goes
Yeah,
off,
that's right.
and they turn into skeletons. By the way,
It's such a cool
my
intro.
notes here, yeah, my notes here say, "Hey, it's a straight Terminator intro." Dot dot dot. Fallout. Dot dot dot. Duh.
You deal with the
Calling myself an idiot.
fallout.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It's like, come on, like
it's real good.
it's right there in the title, and I
Mm,
didn't click.
yeah. Um. Yeah.
Spoiler: the MacGuffin is nukes.
Yeah. Whoops. Although maybe the one thing we didn't guess.
Yeah, probably yes.
Yeah. Felt like a real kind of '80s thing.
So we're in trouble in about 5 years, is what we're saying here.
Yeah. Tom Nostradamus Cruise
Uh-huh.
is coming for us, and he's coming for us, and
Jeez.
he won't stop running. um.
That's how he gets the minimum safe distance. He
That's
runs
right.
away from the blast.
He just cooks it. Um. Yeah, we start here with kind of in the middle of a deal here. We have found out that the syndicate agents have kind of split off into
Into the
what they're calling
apostles.
the
Like, come
apostles.
on.
Sorry, my headphones on backwards. It's like the syndicate have split off and they have splintered, and now they're the apostles. You didn't take down Lane, and someone else has taken over, John Lark, who they know nothing about. But he
Which,
is...
I'm just saying, cut off one head and two shall take its place.
That's right.
Hail Syndicate.
That's right. So John Lark is attempting to steal... No, he's attempting to purchase stolen plutonium cores to use in a nuclear weapon. It seems like he already has a kind of a nuclear specialist that he has has brought into the flock for whatever reason. So it is IMF's job to go get the plutonium by any means necessary. And this is where Ethan, Benji, and Luther are there to purchase the plutonium in a deal. The deal...
Which Benji wanted to be a field agent, so that's why he's not in the van.
That's right. You gotta... It's real... Very, very happy again to see both of them back in these movies playing off of each other. The deal goes wrong, sort of unsurprisingly with these movies, but surprisingly it goes all the way wrong, where the plutonium is in the wind, because Ethan wanted to save Luther from getting shot by someone who was trying to jump him.
It was the Apostles.
Yeah, I mean, I think at any point in this movie, if there are other people on the screen, they're the Apostles. Like, there's maybe one scene that is guaranteed they aren't, but maybe not 100%. Yep. So this goes super wrong, and the three bombs are blown up.
Yeah, this is some quality work right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like the visiting the guy in the cell. And it's like, oh yeah, we hit your car 2 weeks ago. And like my note right here is, oh, of course they blew up 3 nukes in 3 very religious cities.
Yeah, I was kind of upset for a minute until it's very clear that it's just a ruse. Because I was like, man, this is like not great screenwriting of just like, we blew up the Vatican and Mecca, and it's like, come on, guys. Come on, like, for real.
Well, they did say in his character introduction that he had some vehemently anti-religious viewpoints.
Yeah, so Ethan and Luther visit the nuclear specialist in the hospital 2 weeks after a car crash. Wink. And I really like the good cop, bad cop we got going on here, of just like Tom Cruise overacting this, like, let me at him.
He is so scrappy do. It's unbelievable.
He's like borderline feral, where he's like, just get a piece of him.
Luther is a giant of a man, and Tom Cruise is scrappy do, just like hand against the head, holding him away kind of
Luther's
thing.
like barely holding this this tornado of teeth and elbows. Like, it's pretty great. So they get... Oh my god, this is so good. I don't want to break every scene down in this movie, but I need to break down this scene because it contains my favorite 4 words together in the English language now. So of course CNN is...
I think I know what it is now.
Yeah, I think anyone who's seen this movie knows what I'm way too excited about here. CNN is running, featuring Wolf Blitzer, saying like, oh, there's been an attack on the... Oh, wait, I have these notes. Breaking news. I'm supposed to read this manifesto. So they're wheeling and dealing. The manifesto is read on CNN, which makes the Apostle nuclear guy very happy. So he unlocks this phone that has plans and yada, yada, yada. But that doesn't matter because... Guess what? What we have so early in the movie, a Wolf Blitzer mask rip. Wolf Blitzer mask rip, Moon. Wolf Blitzer takes off his mask and it's Benji. Moon. This this whole season has been leading up to this moment. This is the best thing. This is the best thing in cinema.
The
It's a
fact
Wolf
that you're
Blitzer
so much
massacre.
more excited about this than the arm cocking scene later is
Oh my god.
hilarious.
It's Wolf Blitzer. It's like, not only do we get the payoff of Benji getting to wear a mask and playing a character and like successfully tricking this apostle nuclear specialist, but the Wolf Blitzer massacre, it's so good. Okay, I'm gonna tamp it down. We have more to get excited about here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But so this is the phone that he has been using to communicate with Lark. He has like the nuclear plans. He has all the details about where they're gonna plant them, and all the kind of schematics and everything.
Yeah, and we get to walk and talk to the airplane.
Oh my god, this scene is this IMF and CIA stuff is really good, because it's this walk and talk where the secretary is surprisingly has Ethan's back in a way that
Shockingly,
is selfish, but not 100%. And it's a really good scene of just like the secretary being like, I don't really care what you have to tell me. You need to get out there. I know you're going to do the right thing, and I know you're going to save my butt. So, like, just get on the plane, man.
I even like the fact that he says that moving from Secretary of CIA to IMF was a lateral move.
Right.
Some might even say a step down. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's not doing it for the credit. He's not here for the glory, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. And who's our CIA boy?
Okay, so 2 killer actors here. Number 1, Angela Bassett as the CIA director, who just kills it. Like, she kills in everything, kills it in this movie. And then...
Dude, she has experience being the lead of government agencies, because she was the one in charge of Rainbow Six. When Siege launched, she was the one who did the cutscene.
She was just in Horizon Forbidden West, too. She was really good. But, of course, the other thing to get excited about this movie, Henry Cavill. Oh, God. He's just... I can't take it, Moon. He's just... He's too hot. I can't do it. He is Special Activities Division Agent August Walker. With the nice little like character bit of him introducing himself, be like, "Hey, I'm Walker," and nobody cares.
Everybody brushes him off.
It's super good. So the CIA director is like, "Hey, man, I don't trust the IMF. I think this is the line of like playing whatever with Halloween masks."
Yeah, the IMF is Halloween. A bunch of boys playing with masks.
It's such a good line.
It's a good line, but my favorite line here is what she says to the secretary. You prefer a chisel, I prefer a hammer. And she's got him standing right behind her. Yep. It's like, okay, if you're going to have a hammer, that's a pretty good hammer.
There's also a really good moment where she introduces Walker to the IMF secretary. She's like, you're going to have Agent Walker go with you. And she says something like, do you know him? And the secretary takes a beat and goes, his reputation precedes. Just like, okay. So he's maybe not the most well-liked. So the CIA director's deal is, hey, if you want to go get the plutonium, you're going to take my dude. And this is not exactly a request, and you got to get on this plane now, and I own this plane. So,
yep.
Bye.
And by the way, the president has signed off on this too, just so you know.
Like there's a really good argument of like who can put the bigger one on the table, where it's like the president has signed on this, and I like that the CIA director is like, yeah, well, I talked to him too, and he doesn't care, so he's on my side. It's like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, you got some, both of you got some weight. So Walker and Hunt are on a mission to infiltrate a nightclub in Paris where Lark is supposed to purchase the cores from the White Widow.
Correct.
Which I don't want to forget about Ethan and the White Widow meeting like in 2 more scenes, because there's a really great callback in that scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we don't talk about that callback, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I think there's several. We'll see which one you got and which one I got. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
it's hey, dude, it's Bungie slash 343.
that's right. You with the world's first Halo jump.
Huh?
And I there's a great scene where the two of them are in these like Halo space suits, and they got the heads up displays. They're putting oxygen on. Everything's going okay. Walker is like kind of pooching it a little bit. I like that Ethan just marches to the back of the plane, ready to go. Sees the thunderstorm and just nopes right out of there immediately. We're like, well, Plan B. Let's go do this. And I like that Walker, being the bully that he is in this movie, just disconnects his oxygen and just jumps out of the plane. It's just like,
Oh yeah.
okay.
What's the matter? You're afraid of a little bit of thunder? It's like no,
It's really good. There's also a really good line of like, you need to pull your chute at when the heads-up display tells you, otherwise the last thing going through your mind will be your kneecaps. That's a real good like, it's kind of a cheesy line I think on paper, but I think
I
Tom
was
Cruise
hoping for
delivers it
butthole,
pretty well.
if I'm completely honest.
That's true. That's true. So of course, surprisingly, the jump goes wrong. Ethan gets hit by lightning and kind of turned around and knocked out for a second. And something happens to Walker where he's knocked out and his oxygen has been disconnected.
Yep.
So there is a thrilling and terrifying jump that's happening while they are trying to resolve each other.
Mid-air rescue and everything else that goes on here.
It's so well shot. It is so cool. Like, one of 17 scenes in this movie where I was on the edge of my seat. Like, just, the movie's really good. So I do really like when they land, and I love Henry Cavill so much. The way he just delivers the line of like,
you lost your oxygen.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it's really good. You're such a jerk. It's so good. So they
had to know what happened, right? Like
100%. Yeah, he just wanted to be a dick about it. So they infiltrate the nightclub. They're both kind of there. They are tracking
the RFID chip.
Yeah, RFID chip on their like
of the guy.
Yeah. So the guy's Lark is going into the bathroom. So they both go in there. There's kind of a cool like stakeout thing where they're trying to figure out who's who in this Paris nightclub bathroom.
I've literally written here, and the bathroom ... because I know that the fight scene in question with the hand cocking animation takes place in a bathroom.
Yeah, we're both kind of like waiting for it. And Ethan makes it a little too obvious that he's waiting for that person to leave. So Lark is kind of onto him and beats the crap out of both of them at the same time. Like, yeah. And it's wild to see. Tom Cruise is sort of famously a shorter guy, especially next to Henry Cavill. And I like that they kind of play Cavill's character as a bruiser pretty well, I think. And this dude is just like punching and kicking and chopping them at the same time all over this bathroom.
My note here is Walker is mean and strong, which I wrote immediately after he does the back toss and just chucks the dude through the mirrors in the middle of the bathroom like it's nothing.
Brutal. Yeah. So they eventually get... I do actually really like when the Lark pulls the pipes out of the bottom of the... And he's like hooking people and like throwing them around. Like that's... I like that. That's good stuff.
I like when he sees Walker get up in the mirror and then turns him around, because he's got the sharp end of the pipe at Ethan's throat, and if Walker comes at him, he will use the pipe to hit it into Ethan's throat. It's perfect. Like it's really good tactical awareness. It's what's known as CQC in the Metal Gear Solid terms.
That's right, CQC. So it eventually ends with, well, the first part of the fight ends where Walker hits Lark in the head with the laptop, which Ethan is
Yeah,
very
that
quickly.
crunch is insane.
And like, I love that Ethan is just like, dude, like, come on. And
Because it's the laptop that makes the masks, dude.
right, like this is. I showed you the scanning thing. I showed you it on the laptop. We were in the plane. We're never mind. So of course they are all together in the
The stall.
the stall trying to scan this dude's face while he's knocked out. And he
And these bro a-holes come in and are
just
like, come on,
smooch, smooch,
can we
smooch.
join in?
Yeah,
We're not mean.
it feels very true to life, unfortunately.
Uh-oh.
So of course Lark wakes up and starts doing the kicking and punching again. And I like that they immediately just. I think it's Ethan gets punched straight out of the stall. Like it's just they only fight in there for maybe
like,
3
kicks him
seconds.
through the door.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's insane.
So the rest of the fight proceeds and then ends after Lark is killed after being shot in the face by Isla. Shockingly returning. A woman returns in a Mission Impossible movie. How incredible.
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have figured?
Hold on. We totally forgot to mention that Julia is in that first shot as well, by the way.
Yeah,
the actress is back.
Yeah, that's true. She's been sort of in the background for a bunch of...
Ethan keeps having nightmares about her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She goes to shoot him in the chest and shoots him in the face. Ethan cannot scan his face to make a mask because, quote, he needs to have a face to make a mask. Which is
really good line.
It's great. I do really like all three of them being in on like the improv of people bust in and see the blood on the floor. So it seems like there was a fight between the three of them. I like that they like pick it up and drop it immediately. It's really good. So
yeah, because Henry Cavill's gonna have that much blood come out from a broken nose.
That's right. So this is where
Isla goes with Ethan to meet up with the White Widow,
and Ethan's like, whatever. Let's hope they haven't met each other.
Yeah, while also warning him that there are assassins here to specifically take out Lark, who he's now pretending to be.
Right, because Isla keeps saying, like, look, man, I can't really explain what I'm doing, but you really need to not do this. And so Ethan and Isla go to that kind of like back fancy room in this area to meet with the White Widow, who turns out to be Max's granddaughter?
Daughter, I think.
Daughter.
Straight daughter.
Yeah, which...
It's like, are you talking about the Max? Because you're making a lot of jokes about paradoxes here, especially when you see Ethan, and it's like, that's got to be the Max, right?
There's a real good line, too, about, like, you know how she was really, like, resourceful, and everybody in the room laughs. And I was like, it has to be the Max from the first movie. Like, that's also a really great callback that I really enjoyed. So Ethan meets with the White Widow, who turns out to be someone we have seen in Shaw and Hobbs.
Hobbs and Shaw, get it right. Thank you very much.
Apologies.
The rock has to come first. Come on, you know that.
That's right. We saw her in that. She was in The Crown for a whole bunch, too, if anyone has seen that. Ran into her, and she is being protected by her D-bag brother Zola, who's just the worst. And I like that Ethan's thing is just like, shut up, shut your face. You're in trouble. We need to go, like right now. And she's like, yeah, whatever, darling. He's like, shut up. Do you see these dudes? You see all these dudes here that are only looking at us? What do you think they're here for? Here to kill you. And There's another fight here that I kind of like with like 4 or 5 knife dudes rushing the two of
Uh-huh.
them. Um,
It's Streets of Rage when you bump up the difficulty, and the guys with the punches turn into the knife guys.
yeah, they're just the guy that holds the knife in front of him,
They
running
literally
straight.
run at him like that too. That's the
They do,
thing.
really do. Yeah, so Ethan kills a couple people. What's her actual name? Um,
Oh, the White
Mistopoulos is
Widow.
her last name. Alana. She kills some people with a butterfly knife she's just got hidden. Like she does some good work here
Uh-huh.
too. Um, and they escape to go back to the White Widow's kind of prep area for the mission they're gonna do.
We can call it a compound, I think, based on how big that place is.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Um, and they have a meeting about like, all right, they are transporting Lane through with an armored convoy through Paris. Where here's the path. We're gonna cause an issue here. They're gonna go under this bridge. We're gonna trap them. We're gonna kill them all. We're gonna take Lane. We're gonna give them to the broker that has the plutonium. They really need Lane. So your job is to go
The
get Lane.
payment is Lane.
Right.
Like that's a nice little line as well, where it's like, no, you don't understand. This is how this works. I'm a broker. This is the
Right.
object. This is the payment. You need to
Right.
get this payment.
And I don't have the objects. Like, here's the down payment of a plutonium core. No big deal. But like, there is a pretty fun little fake out of
Yeah, of
Ethan shooting a
killing
cop in the face.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we
We missed a very important scene here, by the way.
oh sure, okay.
I only bring this up because my notes are important for the future, because I'm a gullible SOB.
Mhm.
Right before this mission is when Walker meets with Solomon from the CIA.
Yeah, like
And
in very obviously Paris.
yes,
Mhm.
and is like, well, you always thought that Locke was an American agent, and I'm just saying that Ethan's got some history, and here is the totally non-broken phone that we
Right.
found on the body.
Right.
And I was like, oh, please don't let Walker be Locke,
Yeah.
please.
Well, and it's interesting because it's kind of it's almost a callback to I think it was the previous movie where Ethan was kind of largely on the hunt, and they're like, he's lost the thread. Like he's in too deep. He's going nuts.
How long until you get disavowed and betrayed by your own government until you essentially snap? And it's like,
Right.
you know what? That's a very good point.
You raise some interesting points, Henry Cavill.
Mhm.
But yeah, that is a pretty good scene of Walker just really like selling a pretty convincing line about Ethan being Lark. Which cuts to the actual heist, which it will not be the last time that I sing the praises of the composer here, who has managed to take the Mission Impossible theme and play with it at least 15 different ways, it feels like, in this movie.
Yeah,
And
every now and again you just get one of those stings where it's just like
Mhm.
dun dun, and then it moves on to something else. And it's like,
well, I
okay.
really like during some of these setup scenes in this movie where he has the like really drawn out, very slow orchestral version of it, and we get the like you just get like a little bit of the sting, and then the violins kind of do something different for a little bit. Like I really, really, really dig that because it doesn't feel like it's oppressive, but it's still sort of like we got the theme here. It's the thing you want to hear. So they do the whole setup, the diversion goes correctly, and everything goes wrong when Ethan rams the armored car off of the side of the tunnel that they're on into the water.
They don't pull a Con Air and create a kill box. Instead, they just ram that car straight into the sign, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
great.
It's really, and then he backs that truck all the way up, and they start escaping, while the armored
Car
car.
chase
Well,
through Paris.
yeah, it's like a car chase plus a motorcycle chase that's happening. That's very obviously Isla. Um,
Oh yeah.
along,
As soon as it showed up, I was like, well, we know
that's
Isla
Isla.
likes black leather, black helmets, and
That's
motorbikes,
right.
so
Yeah.
sure,
So like, who else
clearly
is it gonna
Isla.
be? um, so while that's happening, the underwater rescue mission is happening with Benji and Luther, and man, there's that looping circular shot in like there's an incredible amount of fantastic cinematography in this movie just from front to back, and I really like the he's in that huge roundabout and kind of like zipping on a
Uh-huh.
motorcycle between a bunch of cars, and that just single shot of him looping around that roundabout is a really great shot. um,
Are you talking about the Arc de Triomphe, or are you talking about
yes,
the one
yes,
where he
yeah, that one.
parks in the middle and then it loops around him while he's looking for an exit?
No, that one's good too. But yeah, the Arc de Triomphe, where he's circling around it on the motorcycle, like that's a real good, it's a really good shot. Also,
Well, you know why? Because we've seen so many circular loopy shots before by this director. Because this is Edge of Tomorrow slash Live Die Repeat guy
that's right.
with his constant running in
He
circles, shooting bugs coming out the ground.
he knows what I like. He does it well.
Hmm.
Um, I also really like when they go into the sewers once Ethan escapes. I really like the shots there with the kind of shafts of light coming through the top of the sewer. That stuff's really good. So they successfully escape. They put a little nicotine patch on the tracker transponder thing that Lane has in his neck. They eventually slurp that thing out of there, and I like that they. Sorry for that sound. I like that they put it into a a drone and just like fly it off. So the
Yeah, and they don't even move.
mhm,
They just like throw the drone in the air and send it away.
yep. Um. So we also forgot. That it looked like Isla had killed Lane when he's in the
Uh huh.
car with Ethan. Um.
And he got an ear clipped instead.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's a cow and he's being marked by his owner. I
That's
think it's cows they do that too, or is it
that's
sheep?
right.
I don't know.
Probably both. Um. So they go back to the safe house. Um. They there's a really good standoff here as they're putting him into the car of like the lone French policewoman that's just like um that's a really
Uh
good
huh.
scene.
This scene, it's such an anxious scene. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like the stand up, the standoff, everything about it. But I like the fact that like as soon as it looks like she's gonna put up a bit of fuss, Walker immediately has his gun at his side. Like
Yep.
he pulls it out immediately just to be safe, because
Yep.
he's the hammer and he will happily shoot this cop if it means they get away.
Right. um they uh they bring uh Lane back to their safe house. The White Widow says, hey, by the way, cool, good job for getting him. No big deal.
Hmm.
You need to bring him to London, but also you kind of also need to bring Isla because
Yeah.
I would
Can
like
we
her.
talk about the BMW chase, by the way? Because we missed out this entire
Oh,
scene.
the green BMW.
I don't even know what color it was. I think it might have
Mhm.
been. Yes, like the classic line of "Was it your idea for the little car?" is some
That's
quality writing right
it's
there.
really good. They're all in the back
Because
seat, and
that's the
Walker's like, "Hey,
"Hi, I'm Walker."
I'm Walker," and he's like, "Oh, is this tiny car your idea?" It's like, "Yeah, get him, Benji."
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and they have a real good,
Like it
escape
feels to
scene
me
there.
like there's like a 40-minute sequence that takes place in Paris here. From
It yeah,
from the this is where we're gonna kidnap Lane to let's head to London. That feels like it's 40 minutes of action sequence
Mm-hmm.
just through Paris, and it's like the garbage truck looking thing. It's the two bikes, then it's the car, then it's the car and the bikes everywhere else, and
A
then
boat
it's
also.
yeah, the boat too. Yeah, I
Yep.
forgot about that completely.
Yep. And what's incredible is it's all really good. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're all like these movies have nailed down I think how to shoot and edit these action scenes really well. It doesn't feel like they are kind of falling victim to a million and one cuts like a lot of action movies coming out of America typically are.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels very well done. But yeah, the White Widow says like, "Hey, you got to bring or Lane to London," and also, Isla is becoming a problem, so I want her too, and you got to bring both of them. And
Yep.
Ethan says, "Yeah, sure, but I won't have Isla until we meet at the meeting."
Mm-hmm.
So they are off to London. They get to the safe house. The secretary is there, saying like, "Hey, man, this is not going well. I have been instructed to bring you in because you're running wild, man."
Yup.
And this all turns out to be there's like a bunch of posturing, and they stick the secretary in the neck and give him the sleepy juice, and they are bringing Benji with a Lane mask to the meeting
Mm-hmm.
and leaving the real Lane back in the protection of Walker.
Yes.
And Walker immediately turns off the camera and throws it away, and then starts talking to Lane, saying,
Gets his injection set out
"That's
ready
right."
as
Yeah,
well.
he wakes him up, and then says, "Hey, by the way, I'm really Lark, and we need to go do the apostle thing. I wrote the manifesto, etc." There's that really good beat where Walker says like, "Why do you have to make this so effing complicated?" Which
Yeah.
is really good. And that's when Walker drops the mask line again and realizes
I
that.
love the fact that he stops on it because literally I wrote a note that's like, I'm pretty sure Benji is the one who's still behind. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure Benji is the one who's in the chair.
Yep.
My note is mask number two. I'm sure Sloan is Benji who gets left
Mm-hmm.
behind.
Yep.
And like as he delivers that line, it's like, okay, that's a really, really, really good callback.
Well, and I like how Cavill plays it, where he just stops in his tracks, and I like that Benji drops the act of being Lane for half a second to be like, "What?" It's just like, yeah, that's Benji in there. Like
Mhm.
he's not playing the character anymore. So the CIA director was also on the line, and everybody's there and everybody's fine, and they catch Walker and he's Lark. And it turns out that I like that this is another like double triple cross where the CIA director brings in her own crew to bring all of them into Washington, except that
Mhm.
Walker's crew is there, and
There's only three. There's only every threat is in this room, and we have them. Oh, do you?
it just says go, and everybody shoots everybody else. Walker manages to stab the Hunley, the IMF secretary, which is a real bummer. I wish he was going to be in these movies more. And he perishes. Everybody kind of escapes at this point.
Yeah, it's like scattered to the wind. Everybody, go, 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 go.
And there's of course a really great Tom Cruise running scene here across the rooftops in London. I have to give.
He found a new city at least.
That's right. That's right. He's running across a brand new city. I do really like the dichotomy here between Tom Cruise full on sprinting across the rooftops of London, while Henry Cavill is just like taking a real leisurely stroll. Like he's just taking his time. There's some real good Ethan Benji business here with Benji having the screen lock on and having it in 2D mode, and like I do like I have to give this movie special credit though, because I really like the scene of Tom Cruise in like the office area where he throws the chair through the window, and like in most of these movies, everybody in that room would be screaming their head off, and I think that's a lot more realistic, where everybody's like, who's this dude? Why is he? What is he doing? Oh no, he's actually gonna jump. And like,
yeah,
that.
like, why you stopped? Go across the street. It's like, I'm gonna jump out a window.
Jump out a window. But I also like there's like everybody in the room just watching him. There's that real long shot of like the woman puts her hand on her mouth, and one of the women's like, "Yeah, you can do it." Like I like that a lot. So it's a really cool scene where Tom Cruise, Ethan. Let's give him his real name.
Tomato at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Ethan jumps on the bottom of he's like hanging off the bottom of an elevator that Walker is riding on, and they're having a heart-to-heart. And there's that really great shot where Walker just puts a picture on the bottom, the floor, and of course it's Julia.
Yup.
And we find out that Walker is Julia's guardian angel, so there's a really good line of like, if I see you again, she dies. If you try to save her, she dies. Know when you've lost. And I was just like, yeah, man, that's pretty good. Like, Walker kind of got you here, man.
I do like the fact that as well, like, he's like, well, he's still not finished with you is a great thing too. Because the whole time it's been like, yeah, the only reason you're not dead is because Lane doesn't want you dead yet.
Yeah, he's got more for you to do. And Walker like barely stops himself from killing Ethan there. So they track Lane and Walker to a medical camp in Kashmir, I believe. And they find out Isla... Well, go ahead.
Yep, no, I was going to say yes, it is Kashmir, which is the same place that they caused the smallpox outbreak in at the start of the movie.
Right, because the movie the whole time has been really pushing this idea that the apostles are really bad. They will stop at nothing to create suffering to make the world a more peaceful place, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, this is the same place where the smallpox outbreak was caused. Isla figures out that Lane is going to detonate the 2 nukes that he has at a medical camp, which will contaminate the water supply of like India, Pakistan, China, that kind of whole area.
Yeah, it's one of the largest glaciers on the planet, basically.
Right. And Benji finds out in a previous scene that the bombs are not going to be... You're not going to be able to dismantle the bombs because they're both kind of tied to each other. You dismantle one, they both go off, et cetera, et cetera. There's a really good scene between Luther and Isla in that right there. With I like that Ving Rhames kind of like gets the scene to himself for once.
Yeah, and he's just like explaining like, I wish he would have said 3 women. I wish he would have said 3.
Yeah, the 2 is missing one of them from MI3?
2, dude, 2.
2. Yeah.
Sorry, 3 is the first appearance of Julia.
Yeah, I was working on my ranking earlier today, so my movies are a little bit wonky.
Yeah, I wish you would have said 3.
Yeah,
Like,
it's MI2 erasure. This will not stand.
100% is MI2 erasure.
That's right.
MI2 is erased every movie because they always do bike chases now. They
That's right.
never did bike chases until MI2.
That's right. But I do really like that scene of Luther just being like, you gotta go, man. It's one too many
Uh-huh.
things for him to worry about, and he's just kind of falling apart. Of course, she doesn't, and
Yep.
they all go. At in genuinely one of the most shocking scenes in this movie, Ethan turns around to find Julia at this camp in the middle of nowhere, taking care of
Uh-huh.
the smallpox outbreak with her husband Eric, who immediately recognized that dude. Haven't seen that guy in a good
Yep.
long time.
Last thing I saw him in was The Hunger Games.
Okay. I saw him in oh god, American Beauty. He was in
Holy
that.
crap! Yeah, he's the weirdo kid, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like the creeper with the camera. Yeah.
Okay. Have you not seen Hunger Games?
No. I read the books and I liked them, and I haven't seen them.
He plays the host of
Oh no,
Hunger Games.
that's great. That's great casting.
I,
I like that.
he's really good in it, and apparently he's also in Interstellar, which I should have known. I should have known that. Yes, I did
Oh
know
wow.
that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So there's 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 a good
By the way, my
Yeah.
notes went off the rail here, where it's like expletive me. It's a
Mhm.
Julia.
Mhm.
Expletive me. It's a super trap.
Yeah, I like that. I like that even the rest of the team is like, "Hey, it's Jula. What?" Like,
Everybody stops. It's so good. Everybody stops and like,
I need to just watch this. And I like that Julia's husband is like, it was so weird. Like we got this anonymous call where this guy said he was just gonna pay for the whole thing, but we were the ones that had to come out and here run this. And I like that Ethan is like, yeah, weird. It's just like,
guardian
okay.
angel is what they refer to in this.
Yeah, it's super weird. So yeah, we find out it is a super trap where there are 2 bombs. One is in like the communications tower of the kind of facility they have set up. The other one is in a building in the village. I do really like Julia just hopping in with Luther and being like, "Let's disarm this bomb." And I was like, okay, you're way braver than I am, Julia. Jeez." So while they're trying to defuse the first bomb, Tom Cruise has j- jumped onto a payload on a helicopter.
Yeah.
Uh,
The line in question from Ela is, "What is he doing?" And the best response of the movie from Simon Pegg is, "I find it best not to look."
it's very accurate. Of just like, he's gonna figure it out. He doesn't know how he's gonna do it. Just try not to look. So Tom Cruise, in yet another practical stunt that makes me worry for his health, is dangling off of a helicopter. Because there's a new thing here where Benji has found that the activation key thing for the nukes, once the countdown has started, if you remove that and then disarm the bombs, then everything's fine. So
because there's a bug in the operating system. Of course.
That's right.
What a
Why
cute
wouldn't there
little
be?
throwaway line.
Yeah. So Ethan is attached to a helicopter that is chasing another helicopter that has Walker in it. Ethan manages to, after some difficulty, climb up into the helicopter. There's another great scene there where Ethan climbs in and the guy in the helicopter is like, "Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait."
Yeah,
What?
the double/triple take is great.
It's real good. And then a scuffle happens, and Ethan gets behind the controls of the helicopter. And there's another. This movie made me laugh way more than I was expecting it to be. I like the 4 lines back to back of like, wait, you're flying a helicopter? Like, you know how to fly a helicopter? Wait, did someone say he's flying a helicopter? And I like that Ethan is like,
He
stop,
he
stop.
yeah. Just no. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll find it.
I like that there's a real great moment of him just being like, okay, so here's altitude, here's speed, here's payload. All right. So
His power.
yeah, his power. It's real. It's so good. I also like these shots of just Tom Cruise flying a helicopter. It's great.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why shouldn't he do one more thing, like learn how to fly a helicopter? So a big chase happens. There is some helicopter jockeying that's going on while he's trying to get to Walker. Walker has the world's biggest gun, like the infinite gun from MGS3, and just like
I've written in. Well, it's not infinite because he does run out of ammo eventually. But I have written a note here which says Henry Cavill with a 50 caliber in the helicopter. It looks like he's basically using a handgun. He's that much of a monstrosity of a man.
He's so big. He's just like he's it in one hand, and it's just like
It's like no offense, like don't get me wrong, Arnie was great.
Yeah,
Arnie was fantastic, and he was a big dude. Well, Henry Cavill's huge.
Henry Cavill's a big dude, man. Yeah. So, in the interest of time, a helicopter battle happens. If you haven't watched the movie, you should. It's really good.
I cannot wait because I know at least 2 more movies I think on our list that have helicopter chases in.
Great, I love it.
One of them is insane and hilarious, and you will love it.
Oh, great. So the 2 helicopters crash in very extreme fashion, and Walker is like sprayed in the face with hot oil or
hydraulic
something.
fluid.
Yeah,
it's hydraulic fluid. It looks like
real rough.
That stuff gets to like ridiculous temperatures by the by,
based on the state of his beautiful face in a couple of minutes.
Which we can talk about a certain thing that I wish that they didn't do, but we'll get there.
Okay. So there's a genuinely intense and very stressful climbing down the 2 bodies of the helicopters are wedged in this area in the side of this mountain, and they're kind of slipping and sliding and banging off each other as they come closer to the ground. There's so many great shots in there. And it eventually ends up on a cliffside on a mountain, because where else would it end up? In a fight over the detonator.
I don't even think that Walker knows that that's what he's after. I think Walker's just trying to kick the crap out of him.
I feel like Walker is thinking that Ethan is there to take revenge, maybe. But yeah, I don't think Walker knows he's there for the detonator, which is kind of fun. Walker is all sorts of messed up. It
looks like Two-Face.
Right, yeah. The one body of the helicopter is held onto the mountain by like a red hook that is kind of continually slipping. They both go off the side. Tom Cruise is yet again climbing up another mountain.
I'm saying MI2 erasure, because that's how
right.
MI2 starts.
That's right. We just didn't have the song. And then Tom Cruise just pulls on that string and impales Walker right in the face with the big hook. Yikes.
Send hook, one might say.
Ha-cha-cha. And
I couldn't help it. This is what I'm annoyed by.
Yeah.
Don't kill him off. You just give him a half a melted face scar. You know you're doing 2. Well, you probably didn't know at the time, but you're doing 2 more movies.
Right.
Keep
the last 2 movies
as an option.
Right.
For a bad guy.
Well, and
melted
also
face.
It's kind of interesting because Ethan chastises Walker when they first meet in the plane over Paris, saying like, "You're the reason why we don't have any Apostle agents alive to figure out who Lark is. So you're running wild and you're killing all these people, but you're not getting us the information we need."
Yep.
So I'm going to put a hook in her face.
Yes.
And there's also at the same time there's going on. Benji almost gets killed by being hung by Lane. Isla beats the absolute poop out of that dude, which is really satisfying.
It's a really good fight, like that whole fight at all. And I love how Lane was in the last movie. Lane was portrayed as he's one of the best MI6 agents that they had, and he works Benji like he's teaching a kid how to fight.
It's like he's beating up a 5-year-old.
He blocks and slaps the crap out of him like 4 times.
It's
swing door.
It's interesting to see Benji so outclassed, like immediately, and then like just have it turned around very quickly. There's a really great argument between the two teams about on which second of time left on the bombs they should cut the time, because he's like, "We'll do it on 2 seconds." It's like, "You don't want to do it on 1? You're gonna cut it that close? Like that's a second you'll never get back."
Also lost radio contact with Ethan.
So of course Ethan pulls the detonator piece out at the right time. The bombs are deactivated. Everybody is.
I like the fact that they put the wire and it goes to a white screen. By the way,
it's real,
and it's just a sunset.
Yeah, it's really good. And you get to see Tom Cruise hanging off another mountain, which it never really gets old. And
your grandma.
That's right.
Sitting by the fire.
That's gonna be the critical misses cut. Is just that scene has that song in there. It's the only change. And then everybody is suddenly everybody's back at the camp. Ethan is in pretty bad shape. Was recovered by the CIA director before he got exposure. There's a genuinely fairly touching moment between Julia and Ethan, where Ethan feels very badly for what he feels is ruining her life. She's kind of always on the run. She has this really interesting apology saying like, "Look, I love the life that I have now. Like I get to do all of this stuff, and it's in large part because of where this path took me, and I don't regret it at all." I was like, all right, it's pretty good. She's probably not going to be in these movies anymore, which sort of stinks, but that's okay. You at least get like a proper send off.
There is 2 left.
I know.
Come on.
Two more Mission Impossible movies.
You honestly think she's not going to be in any of them?
I don't know, man. I hope she is. She's great. But
do you think Ilsa comes back?
100%. Yeah, I feel like she's part of the crew now, especially after she's making like she's making some smoochy kisses towards Ethan.
True.
I like the CIA director has the same kind of moment of clarity there with the IMF that the previous secretary did, where it's like, all right,
yes,
I kind of get, we need you now. Like I see that you have an important place in kind of the global security, so I guess we'll keep you around. That's fine. And then it ends with Tom Cruise's ribs hurting. Please don't make me laugh. And then we get yet another incredible orchestral version of the theme.
We do indeed. Did you catch the ankle break moment, by the way, which is something I forgot that this movie is famous for?
No.
During the running over the rooftop scene in London, Tom Cruise snapped his ankle in half because he does all of his own stunts.
Ouch. We also did neglect to mention the arm reloading shot, which makes way more sense in context, and it's actually a pretty cool, like when he takes his jacket off, it's just like,
his jacket.
Yeah, man, this is happening. It's getting real now. The big dude's coming in. So what did you think about this movie? What did you think about Fallout?
It's really good. My one problem with it is it doesn't stop. Like it literally
Yeah.
never stops and takes a
15
breath.
heists, 17
Uh-huh.
chases. Yeah.
Like at least in Ghost Protocol you had like the train scene where everything slowed down for a second
Mm,
before it ramped up to the Burj Khalifa.
right.
And and Rogue Nation you had the character building scenes that slow things down a little, but this doesn't stop. And
Hmm.
the one time it slows down is just so that people can like the CIA can come in, and then the secondary team can come in and kill the CIA because they're already
Right.
in the CIA.
Triple
In that,
crossed.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Two mass scripts, by the way. Two.
Yes, 2 mass scripts, which I believe brings us to a grand total of 14 mass scripts across all of. If my math here is correct, brings us to a total of and 2 really good mass scripts in this movie. Both of them from
Uh-huh.
Benji, finally,
Uh-huh.
which
Both for
is
Benji, which is
really
good.
good. Um, yeah, I liked this a whole lot. I think it's one of those few movies where 2.5 hours goes very quickly. I appreciate that is immediately way less male gazy than the previous movie. Like Isla is.
I didn't even notice that. That's how little male gazy it is.
Yep. There's only one shot where the White Widow is pulling the butterfly knife out, but that's so minor compared to the previous movie.
And
Like
also, that's a good place to hold a gun or a weapon of
mhm,
some kind.
yeah. And she immediately knows how to use it, so it's sort of like, yeah, that's okay.
I I do like the fact that she waits for a moment and is just like stabbed through the heart, and then this next guy who's approaching just gets slashed across the face. It's
Give him
like,
the
okay,
old stabby Roberts. Yeah, it's way less male gazy. Like Isla gets to wear clothes that look like an MI6 agent would be able to wear, which is really great. She gets to wear a jacket when they go to the glacier, which is great. I
uh-huh.
call that out specifically because that doesn't get to happen to a lot of women in action movies.
True.
And I really appreciate it for
And
that.
they're not honeypots. Not
Nope.
once is a female agent a honeypot in this.
And actually, she has like she's off doing her own thing half the time. Half the time, she's shooting Ethan. Like
Uh-huh.
it's very much like she
In
has
his
her mission.
direction.
That's right. She's got her own mission. Like she's got stuff to do. Um, the again cinematography incredible. Some really great
Uh-huh.
shots, especially the stuff in Paris and London. Some real good stuff. The score fantastic. Really loved it.
Yep.
Special shout out to references to Max from the first movie.
Yeah.
Really like
Like
that.
they're, they're starting to loop things in.
Yeah,
This is the familyfication of these movies, which
yeah,
I'm enjoying. And I
yeah.
can't believe I just made up a word, by the way.
I love it though. Um, I like everybody
Wait,
in the movie. Go ahead.
did the MCU learn this from the Fast and Furious franchise? I
Oh,
think it did.
maybe. Um, I love that everybody was back. Everybody doing a really great job. Every actor in the movie is super great. Angela Bassett playing that character perfectly.
Uh-huh.
Henry Cavill being just a mountain of a man,
I
doing really
I'm
well in
just
that.
sad he's gone.
I know. It's a real bummer. Also, I'm glad that we officially get to see the mustache in this season, sort of looping back on the DCEU season, because that's when
Uh-huh.
those two movies were happening at the same time. Um, I don't. I
By the
liked
way,
this. Yeah, go ahead.
for the record,
Hmm.
Fast Five came out in 2011.
Okay.
Captain America: The First Avenger came out in 2011. So the
Oh,
Furious franchise was familyficationing it before everything
that's
else
right.
was.
Family first. Can't forget it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't really have anything negative to say about this movie. I loved it. I think it was great, and it was 2.5 hours of just incredible, well done action scenes with some incredible cinematography. I
Yeah,
don't know what more I
it's
want from an action
it's a
movie.
great movie.
Yeah.
I think it's missing one thing, but I think we'll find out what I think that one thing is when we do our rankings, which I'm
Okay.
assuming we're not going to go separate. We're going to do that right now, would be my guess.
Yeah, let's talk about the kind of ratings here real quick though. IMDb 7.7, which feels
That
way too,
feels low.
way too low. Rotten Tomatoes has 97% on the tomato meter, 88% audience score, which personally, I think 88 feels lower than I would have.
I would be an 8 or a 9 on this, probably.
I'd be at like a 9.5.
Leaning towards 9.
Yeah, I'm at like a 9.5. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I think it's really, really, really close. So, just like Moon mentioned, we are unfortunately going to be saying goodbye to the Mission Impossible franchise because the final 2 movies are not going to be out until 2023 and 2024, respectively. So we will unfortunately not be covering those probably until they come out, and then I convince Moon to talk about them on the show together.
Dude, it's become a tradition. We started it with the Fast series.
Yeah.
When a new one comes out, we do a supplementary episode to talk about that movie.
It'll be season 14, episode 7, coming in a year and a half. So keep an eye out for it. But before we go, we definitely do want to rate these films in a rating system that are ratings that I'm sure are going to diverge fairly seriously. So let's start with our very bottom one, number 6. Moon, what's your number 6 movie here? I had a hard time. Oh wow, okay, interesting. Why is Ghost Protocol at the bottom of your list? Don't like sandstorms?
I'm gonna make some enemies with this list. I know I am. Ghost Protocol is a solid movie. It is a genuinely good movie. Brad Bird is a fantastic director. He should do more stuff.
Yes.
I am putting things above this that I don't think should be above this based on an emotional thing that I have with it. This is interesting because my list is half emotion based and half logic based.
I had a really hard time making this list because I was like, all right, let's rank these. I don't know how to do this. My number 6 is MI2. I think as we found out in this season, going back to MI2, it's not a bad movie. I think it has problems. It has problems, and I think, unfortunately, the kind of critical reception to it over the years has been like, oh, it's the bad one. It's not a bad movie, but one has to be on the bottom of the list. So, unfortunately, I think MI2 has enough issues to kind of be on the bottom, but it's still the first half of that movie is still really good, and the second half is really dumb in a way that's kind of enjoyable. So, it's great. Yeah. MI2. What's your
only reason MI2 is not bottom of my list is because I have this connection with it. Because that was my first Mission Impossible movie. That was, it was a time when I was in high school and starting college, and all of the music in that movie is 100% me at that time. I was all about Limp Bizkit. I was all about Metallica and everybody else. Like,
we were all into nu metal.
I will never skip Take a Look Around. I will never skip that song because it has the Mission Impossible riff in it. I'll never do it.
It's true.
I will skip every other Limp Bizkit song except for one. Break Stuff, by the way.
Oh, of course.
But I will never skip those 2 songs. I Take a Look Around. It has this deep thing in my head and in my heart where it's like, yeah, that was when I was developing. That was when I was figuring out who I was for the first time in my life.
It pushes the serotonin button. Your brain's like, yeah.
It does. The whole movie does. Like, I like the dumb bike chases. I like Sean Dougray as an incredibly cheesy, like, 70s, 80s villain.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good point.
He hams it up really badly, and I love him for it.
Yep.
Like, it's so dumb and stupid. That's why it's my number 5, in case you hadn't got this, by
I was going to ask you if that was your number 5.
It's only elevated off the bottom because I have that connection with it at that time in my life. It introduced me to Thandie Newton, who is one of the most attractive people on the planet.
And she's so good in it, too.
Exactly.
In a movie that hates her. Yeah.
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 Like, MI2 is my number 5.
My number 5 is Mission Impossible 3. I like Mission Impossible 3 a lot. You get an intro to Benji. You get a really solid movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman kills it the entire time. You get that incredible cold intro. But I think it's just overshadowed by so many of the other movies. It is a really solid movie, and it has a lot of stuff to love in it. But I think when I look at all the other movies and I think about over the last couple of months as we've been watching them, MI3 is really, it's the same problem with MI2. Something's got to be at the bottom. And I like everything else just a little bit more than I like this one. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Mission Impossible 1.
Okay.
Honestly, it goes as I have no connection with this movie. I don't like Mission Impossible 1, generally speaking. I don't. It is a fine spy movie for somebody who... I didn't grow up with the Bonds. I didn't grow up with the spy movies. I grew up on Westerns that I barely remember watching, and quite frankly, walked out the room a lot because I don't like Westerns at the time. That might change now. Who knows?
Sure.
We have Western.
We'll have a Western season, yeah.
It's a really good movie. It's acted fantastically. It's shot phenomenally well. It's just not for me. And I'm fine. I put it as my number 4. My number 4, because it deserves to be there because of who and what it involves, and honestly, what it started. Like, it's an incredible movie for what came after as well. Just like I hate Too Fast, Too Furious, but I can't be mad at it because it got Roman Pierce involved into the Fast franchise. You know,
that's right.
It's good. It's just not for me.
Sure. My number 4 is Ghost Protocol. We get the intro to Brant, which is great. Surprisingly, a really good addition to these two movies. We get the scene with the magnet gloves. We get the sandstorm chase, which is really great. Paula Patton kills it. We get the beginning of kind of forming the crew. We kind of have Luther and Benji and Ethan, and we're kind of starting to solidify things in this one. I think for a lot of reasons, for me, I think it's kind of the weakest of the 3 most recent ones, but I think it's kind of a step between MI3 being kind of the older style. Like the first 3 movies have their own style, the second 3 movies have kind of their own style, and it feels like the bridge between those two. And again, it was a great movie, and we get to see Tom Cruise hit his head on like what feels like 15 different things in one movie, which is endlessly entertaining. But that's my number 4. What's your number 3?
Can we also, like, while we're right in the middle of this list here, by the way, can we give the Mask Rippy Award out, please? Because we know which movie it's going to go to.
Is it going to go to MI2?
It is, because it's got the most mask rips, and arguably
like 6 or 7 mask rips,
something like that.
It's not in a lot. It's not in this notebook I have right next to me. It's in a previous notebook, but it was a lot.
It was, and the best, the best that you.
Two mask ripped at once. They ripped a Tom Cruise mask off. Oh, it's so good, man.
Anyway, my number 3 is Rogue Nation.
Okay.
It's good. It's got a really great villain. It's got a really good storyline. I love the introduction of Elsa, however you want to say it. Subtitles kept calling her Lisa, which made me laugh a lot.
Really good. Yeah.
It's got a lot of good plot development. It does start the MI2 erasure with the motorbike chases, though, so I can kind of forgive it for that. But it's got a good back and forth spy plot that's not. It's not a triple or a quadruple turn as we would see in Fallout.
That's right.
But it's a really good, like, overall. I think it's a solid, way above average from start to end movie.
My number 3 is also Rogue Nation. I like that we get to see the introduction of Lane in this one, who we carry over to Fallout in kind of spectacular fashion. We get, surprisingly, what works is a Benji and Ethan buddy movie, essentially. Which is definitely not the combo that I thought was going to happen. Like you said, we get the introduction.
Ethan Hunt will not last 24 hours. 6 months later is a fantastic smash cut.
Really good, yeah. We do get Isla's introduction. We get the intro of the Syndicate. We get the terrifying nightmare underwater pool, that sort of portal to hell that's in that building. Um, it's a really great action movie. I
Leviathan's butthole, that is, by the way.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Start a Wikipedia page for that. And but I think it still does have the very obvious issues with being too male gazy, especially with literally everything Isla has in the movie, which she does a great job, and it seems like it was written fairly poorly
Like
in
the
that
funny thing
regard.
is like I would be fine with the quote unquote male gazy thing if it was for a reason. Like
Yeah,
in Ghost Protocol, when that lady goes to seduce the Indian guy who runs the
right. When
place,
Paula Patton
that's
is
male
like,
gazy, but it's male
yeah,
gazy with a purpose. There's a reason
right,
behind that. Like
right,
it's still the bracing the leg on that thing for the sniper shot for the
right,
councilman person. It's just like, come on.
yeah. What's your number two?
My number two is Fallout.
Okay.
Uh, Fallout is basically Rogue Nation, but it takes everything up like 3 or 4 notches.
And we actually
Um,
see a movie that continues the storyline from a previous one.
exactly, and I like that guy coming back. I like the fact that he got to show his fighting chops in this movie of
Mm-hmm.
Lane. Like
Yep.
him literally destroying people with his fists is
Yeah,
amazing. And I like the fact that he comes back with a big bushy beard and not
that's
just
right.
like the clean shaven version he was.
Yeah. No more
And
blonde
let the
hair.
man be ginger. Come on.
Right.
Just let the man be ginger, please.
Yeah.
Like, but it's a good overarching thing, and I think I'm disappointed because they killed Walker, and I think
Yeah.
Walker would have been a good transition as the leader of the Apostles. He
Stop.
knows
Stop.
everything.
Stop killing hot people in movies. This
Uh-huh.
is my platform for this year.
Speaking of male gazy, oh
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
Henry Cavill is amazing.
Yeah. So good. My number two is Mission Impossible 1. And I think largely because it is a classic. Like, it is
Mhm.
wonderfully shot, great cinematography. I think it has like two or three really great kind of in-depth heists throughout the movie. It has that famous shot of Tom Cruise floating above the floor, um, uh, that they replicated in their own movies a whole bunch. We were seeing that up until like Ghost Protocol maybe had it in it. I don't remember. Um,
Ghost Protocol did, because
yeah,
Ghost Protocol had Jeremy Renner in the Iron Man suit.
that's that's right. Forgot about that. Um, but to me, I think Mission Impossible 1 is a classic. I think it still holds up really well. You have the red light, green light stuff, which continues to be great. And it's
Jean
just
Reno is a complete a-hole.
Jean Reno just being a dirtbag, which is really great, and telling what I think is a really good kind of spy mystery that doesn't turn out to be like triple and quadruple crossing, which
Mhm.
I think is great. All right, well, let's talk about your number one.
There's only one left, so it's MI3.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, this has got the one thing that I think no other movie in this series has got. It
Mhm.
has the best villain.
Yeah.
Because I don't. Lane is great. Lane is fine. He is not a shouty villain, which I'm also fine with. But this is desperate Ethan Hunt, and I love a desperate Ethan Hunt where
Hmm.
he's literally he is bouncing from one disaster to the next, to the next, to the next,
He's
to the
always
next,
on the back
and
foot.
yeah, and every single time it's because Philip Seymour Hoffman has got the drop on him
Hmm.
in one way or another.
And he's kind of
Like,
bored about it.
yeah, he
Yep.
doesn't care. Ethan Hunt is a fly to him, and he will
Hmm.
just swat him down like he has with, I'm assuming, every other one of them.
Right. PSH is just
It's
like clocking in, clocking out. All right, let's go to murder work. Clock.
yeah, it's such a good movie. From I think the best cold open in the franchise,
Yeah.
period.
Yep.
And to have that loop back around and be literally the end of the movie and have everything that is said make sense because you've watched the movie,
Hmm.
it's such a nice touch. And the whole Julia thing, and he's married and retired, and this is what pulls him back in.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Manhattan turns out to be the bad guy. It's like it's
He's working for the
it's so
Department of
well played
Transportation.
because Yes,
Yeah.
because like they play everything so well because they like the way the people talk as well. Either um the director of IMF at the time, Lawrence Fishburne, he could be
Yeah.
the bad guy, or Dr. Manhattan could be the
That's
bad
true.
guy, or anybody else could be like
Yeah.
I
You're
will
always giving
bleed on
someone
the
the
flag.
side eyes.
Yeah, I'll bleed on the flag to keep the stripes red is a great line.
Yep. That's really good. And that
It's so
movie's.
3 is my favorite all around, and it's just elevated to a different level because Philip Seymour Hoffman is knocking it out the park anytime he's in
Yeah.
camera shot.
I have that too low on my list. Curses. Um, but my number one is Fallout. And I think for me, I think it's kind of because it's the encapsulation of everything I have loved about this series. It's a bunch of fantastic action scenes. It's a bunch of really great heists. It is that kind of continual questioning of, wait, is Ethan Lark? No, wait, Walker's Lark? Like you have this kind of great back and forth. Everybody from the previous movies comes back. Everybody is really killing it. Everybody that comes into the movie from that's brand new are all really great. I think it's definitely one of those movies where, like we said, it's 2.5 hours, and it certainly did not feel like it was like that. It was fantastic from front to back, and it's
Yeah.
one of those where it's finishing Fallout. It's like, man, it's gonna be like a really long year until the next movie comes out, and it's a two-parter, and that is a bummer.
Oh, that's an even longer year after that because it's a
Yeah,
two-parter.
yeah. So, yeah, for me, Fallout. I think I know some people will say recency bias, but I think I appreciate Fallout being kind of they took everything that was great about all the previous ones, everything that's been building up to over the last couple of movies. They dropped some of the stuff like the male gaziness that has been really unfortunate. Again, it's another Mission Impossible movie that doesn't hate women, which is fantastic.
Oh,
And I think they nailed it. The whole 2.5 hours. It's great. All right. Well, unfortunately, that's the end of this season.
yeah,
We
yep.
yeah. If you
So,
were oh god.
minor interruption here.
Sure.
Dead Reckoning is the determination without the aid of celestial navigation of the position of a ship or an aircraft.
Do we finally get a ship fight here?
They're in a boat in the trailer, dude.
See, I haven't seen the trailer yet because I was waiting until we
I'm
were
just-
done with all of these.
I'm just saying that, like, I think that it's that without the aid of celestial navigation makes me think that once again they're gonna be disavowed and they're gonna have
Oh,
to
for sure.
find their own way and
That's
figure
right.
out what to do.
That's right. They're lost at sea.
Mhm.
All right, but before we go though, a quick reminder over at patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones are numbers. Tell your friends.
That's right. If you are a patron of the $5 tier or higher, the in-between week between this season and the next season, you'll get the production meeting where Moon and I are kind of tightening up things on the show, figuring out what's going well. We have a really great conversation about not only where we thought the next season was going to go, where it actually went, and then we kind of we had been putting off kind of discussing some of the seasons that we needed to do some homework on, so we just kind of did it right there in the show. I think it's like an hour and 15 minutes. So if you're looking for another episode here, very casual, uncensored kind of thing, I think they're turning out really great, and I highly recommend people go listen to them. You can go sign up for that and get all that stuff over at patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones are numbers, numericals, if you would.
That's right. And unfortunately, we got to say goodbye to the Mission Impossible movies. Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to you. For now. For one more year. And unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to you, dear listeners. And we hope we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.